Hi, I'm Brett with C Virtual Marketing and Photography. First, I want to thank you for placing your order with us on this listing, whether it was for the virtual tour, photography, video, and a floor plan package. There's something that is included in your package that I want to talk about, and that is embedding or integrating the content into your listing and why we want to do that. There's really two main concepts that I'm going to cover. The first one will be very obvious once I explain it. The second one is not so obvious, but is actually the most important and worth the most amount to you, both in the short term and the long term. So you've probably heard the phrase before, content is king. Often that's used in the online world, meaning that when a site has a lot of great content, it drives a lot of traffic, or it has a huge audience and therefore can generate a lot of advertising dollars or sales revenue as a result. And so it's really important to have great content. You could argue that Facebook has, really good content because it's very personalized and relationship driven, and therefore it has a huge audience that goes there to look at the content, and that is why they can make so much money selling advertising. So the reason why you want to let us integrate into your site is because you are paying for additional content. You are creating great content for your listings. And in real estate, we can actually replace the word content and say that listings are king. So listings, just going to write that here. Listings are king. And that is true in so many ways, but we'll focus right now on the marketing of this listing in specific and a little bit overall. But I mean, there's so many ways you can leverage listings for your time, for your marketing, for sales. So listings are really important, and you've got them, and you've put a lot of time and effort into getting the listing. And so we want to make sure that we're helping you maximize the value of that listing, regardless if it sells or not, and that's key. So I'm going to tell you an analogy, which is the first concept, and then once you hear it, it'll probably make a lot of sense. But imagine you walked into a store and you were interested in a product, and you went to the shelf, you heard this store has it, you go to the shelf, you pick it up, and you're checking it out, and you're thinking, I might want to buy this, but you notice there's some more information available, which is great. So you go to the store owner and you say, hey, I'm interested in this product, but I see there's some more information. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? And the store owner at that point would say, yes, there's more information available, but actually, in order to get that information, I want you to go out the door, I want you to go down a couple blocks, and I want you to go into another store, and in that other store is the information that you're looking for. And once you've consumed that information or you understand it, I want you to come back, walk back down here, and come talk to me. Don't get distracted along the way, don't take any phone calls, and certainly don't talk to anybody else. And if the store owner were to say that to you, you'd think, wow, that's kind of crazy. I came into your store to buy this product, and you're telling me to leave and go somewhere else to complete part of the sale. You'd think to yourself, well, this store owner is losing a lot of business and sales as a result of allowing his prospective customers to walk out the door. And unfortunately, that happens a lot in real estate. And my guess is that you've probably done that, and maybe you've done that with us. If this is not your first listing with us, is that this has happened because we haven't done this for you yet. So if that were to happen in real life, you would say that's crazy. You'd never want your customer to leave the store, especially if they're interested in buying something from you. And so I think because often in the online world, we talk about traffic and page views and sessions and users and hits, that it gets depersonalized to the point where you don't really think of it, but really all of that activity on your site is people. People are going to your store to look at your listings and get that extra information. And so to send them out the door to go somewhere else, like to a third-party site like ours, to view that content, and just hope that they come back is really crazy. And so we want to stop that. So you never want to send them away. You want to be in full control of the sales process. So when we talk about calls to action on your website, you'll have certain calls to action. Maybe you want them to call you or fill out a form on your site, or fill out a form that's for booking a viewing. Perhaps you have chat on your site and you want them to chat with someone so you can capture their information that way, find out what questions they have, and either yourself or have someone follow up with them. Perhaps you've got a tool where they can text for more information or text you directly so that you can follow up with them that way. And so all of those things are on your site, but if you send those people away from your site, you lose control of the sales process, which you never want to do. And then when they've gone and they're on other sites, there's a chance that they could discover other videos, other listings, other virtual tours, and you lose them there versus having them get lost on your own site. I mean, if they're going to get distracted, you want them to get distracted with the content on your site so that you keep them on your site and have the ability to still capture that lead. So that's the first concept, is you never want, once people are on your site, you don't want them to leave. You don't want to give them a reason to leave. And too often we see that customers, agents in general, have paid good money for extra content, extra information, but then they're sending the people somewhere else to go view it. So we want to reverse that. We want to have every single person that's interested in that listing that wants a little bit more information to have to come to your site to get it. Now the second part, which isn't so obvious but is actually the most valuable, is the value of that traffic that you could be missing out on if you don't do this. And I'll walk through the equivalent traffic and how we arrive at these numbers, but really it's anywhere from $100, $200 to $1,000 or more in equivalent dollar marketing value that you're missing out on if you're not allowing us to embed the content in your site. And how we arrive at this number is we know that approximately you're going to get about 100 visits to the virtual tour or to the video or to the floor plan to see that extra content. That's a good average. Often it's higher than that. Now, if we look at what agents are also doing, so let's say they're not doing this, but they are doing other advertising, which is common. They may be paying for ads on Google AdWords, or they're buying clicks off of Facebook, or they're doing postcard mailings via Canada Post, or they're spending their own time and going and handing out postcards. They're paying for a sign to be put in front of the listing in the ground. Perhaps they're taking an ad out in the newspaper. All of those things cost money, and the whole purpose is to drive them usually to a site to get more information and hopefully contact you. And you could argue that this traffic is less targeted than the people who are interested in your listing and are coming for more information. That would be considered hot traffic. They're very interested in something and they're looking for more information. So if you were to be, let's say you're buying ads on Google, probably in any market, you're probably paying at least $1 per click or $1 per visit. For Facebook, it might be a little bit less. It depends on your targeting and how you're doing your ads. If you were to send postcards out via Canada Post, you'd be looking at, let's say you sent 1,000 cards out. It costs probably around $350, including the postage. And that might get a 1% response rate, meaning 1% of the people that get the postcard don't throw it out and they go to your site to get some more information about that listing. If you're doing that, let's say 1,000 postcards turns into 10 visits at 1% response rate, that's $3.50 per visit. Even if you had really great postcards and good calls to action on it, and you're getting 2%, you'd still be looking at about $1.25 per visit. Signs, so let's say you pay $40 to put a sign in the ground in front of the home. How many visits will that generate? People that drive by or walk by and are interested in that property and will go to the website that you've got listed on your sign to get some more information about it. Let's say, I don't know, 20 on average. Even at 20, you're looking at $2 a visit for a $40 sign installation. Even if you got 40 people, or pardon me, even if you've got 40 people, you're still looking at $1 per visit to get them to your site to get more information. So you're most likely spending money somewhere to get people to go to your site to get more information, which gives them the opportunity to contact you or fill out a form. So, to spend money on your listings to generate content and to not have them go to your site to view that content, but then to go spend money elsewhere to try and get those same people to your site is a little bit crazy. And sometimes got to laugh, because sometimes we'll hear that people aren't very happy maybe with the package price, and they'll make the comment, well, I can get it, $20 cheaper here, $50. I could save $100 if I did something else. But they're not taking advantage of having the content on their site. And so what happens is they'll go and spend money elsewhere thinking they're saving $50 or $20, whatever it is, but then they'll go and spend money on a newspaper ad or Google AdWords, not taking into account all of the missing traffic that they're losing out on, all of those targeted buyers that they could have coming to their site to give them an opportunity to contact or capture that lead, and they're giving that away and spending money somewhere else, but worried about the $50. And so, like, if you were to add all up maybe 2 or 3 of these things, you're looking at a few $100s in advertising alone that you could totally scrap, so not do any of it, just embed the content in your site and still get that exact same value for that same traffic. Now, I'm not saying those things are bad. In fact, we would encourage our customers to do these things, but we want to make sure that they're taking care of the low-hanging fruit first. This is the easiest and cheapest things to do. This takes a lot of coordination and extra effort. You've already ordered the tour. This is something that we'll take care of for you so that you don't necessarily have to do all of these other things. Although if you do, that's great. So those are the value there is how we arrive at hundreds to thousands of dollars per listing that you can get out just by having on your site. Now, there's another thing that is kind of in the long term, which will actually drive a lot of value to you, which is the search engine optimization, or SEO. So in the online world, links are like votes, and the more links that you can have to your site, the better. And because listings are king and listings produce great content, and you're spending more money to have even better content for those listings, that will generate a lot of links, whether it's from other real estate websites, people sharing on Facebook, people sharing on Twitter. Listings have the ability to generate a lot of links. And if you were to go out and pay an SEO company to build those same amount of links for you and try and raise your profile in the search engines, you'd pay anywhere from a couple $100s a month to $2,000 a month in search engine optimization. So you can also factor that in to the value of what it is to put the listings on your site and have all of the links pointing to your website and sending all the traffic directly to you. So before you do any of this stuff, you want to make sure you're doing that. And that's why below this video, we're asking for the information so that we can log in and do all this work for you, embed into your website, and then once the content's embedded there, we'll take the URL from your site, and that will be the URL that we share everywhere, that we post everywhere. And by the time we're done, it'll be on 10,000 or more real estate specific sites that in most cases have a link that will point back to that extra content that you're paying for. The one thing I didn't mention is time on site. That's another factor in SEO. So because you're going to have great content on your site, people are more likely to spend more time. I think on average it's about 4 minutes and 30 seconds for our virtual tours. And so what Google and the search engines will look at is if someone Googles an address or an MLS number, and you've got all of these links pointing to your site because you've got that extra content there, you're more likely to show up higher in the search results, especially for your own listings. And if people click on that link and they go to your site to view it and they spend a lot of time there before going back to the search engines, that's another indicator to Google that says, hey, this site has great content. The person stayed there long before they came back. If you didn't have great content and you just had the basic listing information and people clicked in and they're like, oh, I've already seen this information on realtor.ca or somewhere else, and they leave, what'll happen is Google goes, oh, that's a really short visit. For what they were searching for, that site wasn't very good, and so they'll lower those sites. So if you have longer time on site, which good content does, that's another indicator of how high you should rank in the search engines. So those are the two concepts. I hope that made sense. Just below this form, please give us access to the credentials to get into your site. We're also asking for your website platform that you use, whether it's Ubitor or MyRealPage or Realty Ninja. There's a number of platforms that we can integrate with. If you don't have your own website, please let us know. Hopefully through this you understand that you're really missing out on tremendous value if you don't have your own website, so we can certainly recommend one. We've got one that we've kind of monitor with some of our clients that does really well when it's set up correctly, and we do all the embedding for them. The other thing we'll be asking is for if you have any indication of what your current website traffic is, so we can kind of use that as a benchmark. If you don't know, please let us know that as well. We do have a small service, it's not very expensive, to help you install something on your site that is free ongoing, but at least can give you monthly reports. And that would be what we would recommend that you look at on a monthly basis, is what is the number of people that are on your site from month to month, so that you can evaluate all the different marketing that you're doing and make sure that when you add and do something new, that it is increasing the number of people there and giving you more opportunity to capture more leads off your site. I will make one more comment, which is the dollar values here was for equivalent traffic alone. If we take into account the number of leads that you potentially have been missing out on and the resulting commissions from those leads, the number becomes staggering, that you probably don't want to think about it. We've got some clients who've got the right structure of their site. They're on a good platform. They've done a few more things that are important to kind of make it all work together. They're letting us do the integration, and they're generating enough traffic now from the search engine the search engine increase that they've seen over time, as well as all the listing traffic they get direct now to their site, that they're able to generate new leads off of that traffic or those people that are there, turning those into commission dollars themselves, or have gotten so busy that they're now building teams out and they can split commissions with the team members. Or if they're finding that the leads are not in the market, their target market, someone they want to work with, or not in the area they want to service, that they're passing those leads and generating referral commissions to the point where that additional income is paying for all of their advertising, everything they do, including what they spend with us, and then some. So I hope that's all made sense. Please provide the information so we can start doing this on this listing for you now and keep doing it moving forward. And once you've provided that, the next page will just be asking for access to your YouTube channel for something very similar, so that we can upload the videos into your own YouTube channel so it's under your branding as opposed to our own channel. And so that you get all the credit, you get all the traffic, and if people are gonna get lost in looking at videos, they're more likely to be looking at your other videos. Again, I'm Brett with C Virtual. Thanks again for your order, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks, and have a great day.